Hello, this is Dr. Grande. Today's question is, can I analyze the case of Thomas Phillips? Just a reminder, I'm not diagnosing anybody in this video, only speculating about what could be happening in a situation like this. If you enjoyed this video, please like it, subscribe to my channel, and consider supporting me on Patreon. I will put the link to Patreon in the description for this video. First, I'll look at the background of this case, move to the timeline of the incident, then offer my analysis. Thomas Callum Phillips was born on May 6, 1987, and was raised in New Zealand. He went by the name Tom. He was an experienced hiker, hunter, and survivalist, and spent a lot of time alone in rural areas. Sometime around 2010, Tom married a woman named Catherine. They had a daughter named Jada in 2013, a son named Maverick in 2014, and a daughter named Ember in 2016. The family lived in a small town 34 miles south of Hamilton on the North Island of New Zealand. They spent a lot of time with Tom's family members who owned a farm in a rural area called Maricopa. This is 73 miles southwest of Hamilton. The town of Maricopa itself sits on the coast and has a population of 69. In 2018, Tom and Catherine separated. Catherine moved to the South Island of New Zealand as Tom retained custody of the children and homeschooled them. Now moving to the timeline of the incident. In September of 2021, Tom and his children went missing. Relatives who worked on the Phillips family farm in Maricopa last saw Tom and his children on September 11. On September 13, Tom's Toyota Hilux pickup truck was found on a nearby beach on the west coast of the North Island. It was positioned below the high tide line, pointed toward the sea. Waves were slamming into it. The keys to the vehicle were found under the driver's side floor mat. Therefore, the local men who found the vehicle were able to back it up on the beach. People grew concerned that Tom and his children may have been swept out to sea, and the authorities started a massive search effort. They used helicopters, fixed-wing aircraft, drones, and boats to look for the family, without success. The search was suspended on September 24. On the morning of September 30, Tom and his 3 children were spotted on Mangatoa Road. Later that morning, they all showed up at the Phillips family farm as if nothing happened. According to one of Tom's relatives, Tom claimed that he had been living in a tent about 9 miles from where his truck had been found because he wanted space to clear his head. Some have argued that given the size of Tom's head, a lot of space would have been required to clear it. Maybe he was telling the truth. A friend of Tom said that Tom's truck had been stolen from a parking lot near his tent, but most people believe that Tom put the truck on the beach to avoid being found. The failed search effort had cost the government hundreds of thousands of dollars. Tom was arrested and charged in connection with wasting police resources and was facing up to 3 months in jail. The public had mixed feelings about the charges. Some people wondered how it could be illegal to take one's children on a camping trip. They recognized that Tom should have told family members where he was taking his children, but did not view that failure as a crime. Other people thought that Tom was cold and callous for risking the lives of searchers and wasting government money. On December 9, 2021, Tom and his children went missing again. The police decided not to search for them because Tom informed his family that he was going to head out for a while. He was last seen by family members on January 10, 2022. On January 12, Tom missed his court appearance in the town of Te Kuita. A warrant was issued for his arrest. His pickup truck was found on Mangatoa Road, but there was no sign of Tom or his children. On February 9, Tom showed up alone at the Phillips family farm and picked up supplies. He did not reveal where his children were, but said they were fine. It appeared as though Tom was getting assistance from other people in the community, otherwise he would have been in over his head. The police could not find him, and they were not receiving helpful information from the public, like everyone was just sticking their heads in the sand. Many residents in the area were sympathetic to Tom's cause, believing that he had been unfairly charged, and that his children were probably having a great time on a magical vacation in the wilderness. On May 16, 2023, 2 people wearing motorcycle helmets walked into a bank in Te Kuita. This bank was less than a half a mile from the courthouse where Tom had failed to show for his appearance back in January 2022. One of the visitors to the bank was a male, and the other appeared to be a young female. When the bank employees asked them to remove their helmets, the mysterious visitors produced firearms and conducted a robbery. They fled the bank with cash stuffed in their pockets. As they ran down the street, money was falling out all over the place. About $1,000 was lost altogether. One person noticed this and asked the young female if she needed help picking up the cash. Apparently, this person was not aware of the robbery part. At this point, a supermarket owner realized what was going on and tackled the male perpetrator. The female perpetrator responded by producing a firearm. It's not exactly clear what happened next, but gunshots were fired by at least one of the perpetrators. The supermarket owner disengaged, and the perpetrators ran to a parking lot where they climbed on a motorcycle and drove away. 4 months later, the police announced that the male perpetrator was Tom Phillips and charged him with aggravated robbery, aggravated wounding, and unlawful possession of a firearm. The police never identified the second perpetrator, but did confirm that she was female. Some people wondered if this perpetrator was Tom's oldest daughter, Jada. On August 2, 2023, Tom was seen driving a stolen bronze 2003 Toyota Hilux on New Zealand's North Island. His children were not in the vehicle. Tom went shopping at 2 different hardware stores in Hamilton. He was wearing a wool hat, which was stretched to the maximum, a surgical mask, and extra layers of clothing to conceal his identity. Using cash, Tom purchased seedlings, buckets, batteries, boots, and headlamps. Later that same day, the owner of the Toyota Hilux pursued Tom on a road in Maricopa, but Tom escaped. The truck was found a few feet off Maricopa Road near the Phillips family farm. Tom surfaced again on November 2, 2023. He and one of his children allegedly drove a stolen quad bike into a small town 14 miles southwest of Te Quixote and tried to break into a small supermarket. They fled the scene at about 2 a.m. after an alarm activated. At the time I'm making this video, Tom and his children remain missing. Many people believe that he is living on or near the Phillips family farm and receiving substantial assistance from other people. Now moving to my analysis. Here are my thoughts on a few areas that stood out to me in this case. Item number 1. The police are clearly not interested in spending a lot of time or money to find Tom and his children. The chances of finding them without cooperation from the community are low. Maybe the police are thinking something like, why should we bother? One could argue that if the police offered a reward of $10,000 or $20,000, that might encourage somebody to betray Tom. However, they are offering a reward of exactly 0. This matches the level of effort they are using to find the family. When the police do make announcements about the case, they reveal very little information. This is probably because they know that whoever is helping Tom is also watching the updates. They don't want to tip their hand to Tom's accomplices. Tom's relatives on the family farm will not allow the police to search the farm itself or the wilderness around it. It's not clear why the police have failed to obtain a search warrant. Maybe they believe it's a waste of time because Tom would simply relocate if they searched the farm. Statements by the police revealed their apathy, ineffectiveness, and despair. They have asked people to come forward if they see any new kids in the area, especially in sets of 3, as if there is anyone in New Zealand who has not heard of this story. Item number 2. Despite the alleged bank robbery and attempted burglary, Tom is considered a folk hero by some people in New Zealand. He functions as a conduit for the locals to express their displeasure with the police. His repeated embarrassment of law enforcement brings gleeful pleasure and endless hours of entertainment. Others believe that Tom is an evil genius. After all, his resemblance to the character Megamind is astounding. They are concerned that his motivation is simply to avoid prison, and his behavior is not connected to some greater cause. This is not about making some type of social statement. Item number 3. What will happen to Tom's 3 children due to his behavior? It seems likely that the children are being damaged through this experience. They are probably developing a paranoid mindset and maybe even adopting antisocial behavior. For example, they may have participated in some of Tom's alleged crimes. The quality of the homeschooling they are receiving is probably substandard, and if they're spending all their time with each other and with Tom, their social skills will start to erode. Undoubtedly, they look up to their father and believe that what he's doing is right and or necessary. They may be learning some impressive survival skills through this experience with their father, but the most significant lesson he is teaching them is how to end up in prison. Now moving to my final item, number 4. What do I think happened in this case? This is just a theory, my opinion. Tom Phillips is sensation-seeking, self-centered, impulsive, reckless, irresponsible, and has a sense of entitlement. The first time he took his children and disappeared, he didn't think there would be any consequences. When he was charged with a crime, Tom decided that he could simply disappear again. Even though his motive is prison avoidance, people in the community perceive something in the story that is not there. They view Tom as some type of hero fighting against the system. Their desire to assist him is also motivated by how his family is well respected in New Zealand. It's possible that Tom's family members are directly involved in providing assistance as well, but there's no way to be certain. Many members of the community are concerned about the well-being of Tom's children, but even these people will not turn him in. They may dislike Tom, but they dislike the police even more. Somehow, perhaps unintentionally, Tom did transform into some type of evil genius. He has managed to survive through manipulation. Ultimately, his grandiosity, overconfidence, and arrogance will probably lead to him being caught. It's not hard to imagine how Tom could get a big head. Those are my thoughts in the case of Thomas Phillips. Please put any opinions and thoughts in the comment section. They always generate an interesting dialogue. As always, I hope you found my analysis of this topic to be informative. Thanks for watching.